That's right, ladies. We're excited too. Finals week is not only about tests and papers here at Daily Iowan TV Sports, it's also a time for us to reflect on the tremendous efforts that each sports team has had this past year.
Now, obviously, the Iowa football team had a surprise breakout season under head coach Kirk Ferentz. From 12-0 to Big Ten championship and that Rose Bowl appearance, we have named Kirk Ferentz our head coach of the year.
Well, Taylor Brooks sat down with Coach Kirk Ferentz last week, and today we hash out the past and how memorable the season was to coach, along with his staff, players, and the community.
Kind of just take me through that 12-0.
You know, it really began a year ago, January, when the team gets together after spring break. You know, we just kind of what we tried to do is remind our players that what happened in 14 happened in 14, and this was a new team, a new opportunity, new challenges. So, you know, we just started with a clean slate like we do every year, and it'll be the same. It is the same this way. This year we come off a really good season. You start all over again. And I think what happened last year, the team really embraced that concept, and they just went to work. And it's interesting, last year at this time, last May, last April, we'd come off spring practice. The team had worked hard. They had a good attitude. That was all positive. But we didn't have a strong personality as a team, and I think that really evolved over the course of the summer and certainly through preseason camp, and then just kept building. And what it gets down to, we had a great group of seniors, 21 seniors, that were totally invested. They held each other accountable, and then they did that with the entire team, and the rest of the team really joined those guys.
Did you ever stop and take a moment and kind of just really step back and enjoy it? Or was it all just kind of like work?
Yeah, it's really tough during the season to really do that. Maybe a snapshot moment for us. We had the bye week after Northwestern, and that was a really big game for us. Every game's big, but that was really big in that we went up there with a lot of guys injured. Jordan Canzeri got hurt, just about in the beginning of the game. So we really were climbing a tough hill that day, and the guys did a wonderful job, really responded well. So riding home, first of all, we had a 6-hour bus ride or 5-hour bus ride getting out of their traffic in Evanston. So, and then we had an off week after that. So you had a little time at that point maybe just to look back and look at those first 7 games and really appreciate what the players had done. And then secondly, think about the opportunities in front. What
did they really leave with this Iowa football program?
Yeah, I think you really touched on it. Maybe not a lot of household names. A year ago, we had Brandon Sheriff, 5th guy in the draft, Carl Davis, the 3rd rounder. Coincidentally, last week we had the NFL draft. We had 1 guy selected, and that's one of the lower numbers we've had. But the thing I'd point out is we had 21 seniors, whether it was a guy who started like Austin Blythe, started basically 4 years, or guys that didn't start, never started during their career. All 21 guys were fully invested and just did a good job. They really modeled the right behavior, the right kind of buy-in, and the right kind of dedication and effort. So the impact that group had on the entire group football team, not just the production on the field, but the way they did things, I think was really powerful. And quite frankly, I think that's what really drove our football team last year.
Putting the past aside, the Iowa football team got back to business this past spring, and with summer ball right around the corner, there is a lot of work to be done.
That there is. On Thursday, we will give you more from this interview with Coach Kirk Ferentz about the future and what this next season might just look like. Otherwise, for the full interview, check out Daily Iowan's YouTube page.
Now, like we just said, summer ball is approaching very quickly, and the Iowa football team has a lot to look forward with the pretty big schedule that they have ahead of them.
Yep, they start off the season on September 3rd against Miami of Ohio here at home, followed by the Cy-Hawk series against Iowa State on September 10th. This game also happens at Kinnick and is one of the night games for the Hawkeyes. Big Ten Network will also televise this game in primetime.
October is full of big matchups with Northwestern at home, Minnesota and Purdue on the road, and Wisconsin back at home on October 22nd.
Moving into November, we will see the Hawkeyes face off against Penn State, then Michigan for another home night game. Iowa ends the regular season taking on Illinois and Nebraska on November 19th and the 25th, respectively.
Now, once we come back from summer break, Daily Iowan TV Sports will have full coverage of all things Hawkeye football, so be sure to check it out.
Well, this year has been a big year for Hawkeye success, and last week another Iowa athlete was awarded for their excellence.
It was announced that sophomore Hawkeye tennis player Anastasia Remchkin was named the University of Iowa's Sportsmanship Award winner by the Big Ten Conference. Remchkin is the only Hawkeye to receive this award, as the Big Ten gives it to just 1 athlete per Big Ten school.
Now, Remchkin finished her season with an 11-13 singles record and an 11-10 record at the top doubles spot.
Congratulations to her. But that's all we have time for here in the Daily Iowan TV Sports Studio. Ladies, back to you at the desk.